Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. Admiral Kizaru is an utterly endearing character who plays a large role within the One Piece universe, but his choice not to participate in the competition for who would become the next fleet admiral during the time skip was something that left many people in doubt about the reasons that led him not to participate. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the possible reasons why Kizaru didn't choose to fight against his comrades to hold the highest position with the Navy, and comment on other possible goals that he might have had. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel or even if you've watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like and even subscribe and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out, especially with that old YouTube algorithm, and it continues to motivate us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or another one of your favorites with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, during the time skip, there were a number of significant changes and developments within the Navy, and one of those was the dispute over who would become the next fleet admiral. Now, while Akainu and Aokiji engaged in an intense battle to determine who would become Sengoku's successor as fleet admiral, Kizaru chose not to participate in this fierce competition. Now, Kizaru is notorious for his laid-back and sometimes seemingly indifferent personality towards crucial events. His calm demeanor and tendency to act relaxed could be interpreted as a lack of motivation to pursue positions of power or even authority in the Navy. He may have even viewed the fight between Akainu and Aokiji as an internal conflict within the Marines, something that he just didn't care to get involved with. So his laid-back attitude may have led him to believe that there was just no reason for him to enter such an intense competition. The Admiral might also have just simply no interest in political affairs or internal intrigue of the Navy. Rather, his priority might be just carrying out orders and combating threats to the world government's interests, rather than worrying about the politics as he rises through the ranks. It's also possible that Kizaru was much more focused on dealing with immediate situations and real threats than planning his future career. He could be more concerned with responding quickly to incidents rather than worrying about promotions. In the manga and anime, Kizaru often appears to be detached from many material aspects of life and just may not value authority or power the same way as other characters do. So this could explain his lack of desire to compete for the position of fleet admiral, which could be seen as a quest for more authority or power. Kizaru may have even accepted the existing hierarchy and command structure in the Marines without much question. So this means that he could be content with his current position as admiral and just not feel the need to seek higher positions. Now, within the Navy, there is a diversity of philosophies around the subject of justice. Akainu represents absolute justice, while Aokiji takes a more flexible and compassionate approach towards moral justice, while Kizaru follows his own lazy ideology, which makes him not have really a grand ambition in mind. Kizaru may have also realized that his entry into the competition for a position of fleet admiral could further intensify the conflict between Akainu and Aokiji, which could have been detrimental to the unity and effectiveness of the Navy, so he might have just chosen to avoid contributing to the fraying of the internal relations. This could have extended to Kizaru valuing the stability and effectiveness of the Navy above ideological issues. He may have believed that the continuity of leadership, regardless of who was chosen as fleet admiral, was much more important than imposing a specific ideology. Because of this, Kizaru might have respected the diversity of opinions within the Navy and believed that the peaceful coexistence of different ideologies could be beneficial to the organization as a whole. In fact, his more liberal approach might have led to this very decision. So again, Kizaru was still known for that laid-back personality and apparent lack of personal motivation or ambition in climbing through the Marine ranks. And here's a few other additional points about this very character feature. He may have had a strong focus on his current activities as an admiral and fulfilling his missions. For him, seeking the position of fleet admiral could have been seen as a distraction from his more immediate and important responsibilities. It's also possible that Kizaru was completely satisfied with his position as an admiral and did not feel the need to seek promotions or higher positions. On top of that, he might have even considered his current post as satisfying and already in line with his goals. Unlike Akainu and Aokiji, who have demonstrated strong competitiveness and a desire to surpass each other, Kizaru may not have had such a pronounced competitive nature. He might not even see the competition for the position of fleet admiral as something that would even motivate or interest him. Kizaru is often portrayed as someone who is unfazed by pressures or worries, and his laid-back personality could be interpreted as indicating that he really doesn't care too much about his position in the hierarchy. In fact, when you think about it, Kizaru is a rather enigmatic character who rarely reveals his true motivations or thoughts. He may have simply not chosen to reveal his personal ambitions or desires regarding the position of fleet admiral. Now, what the Admiral of Light Might is really known for is his peculiar personality and his impulsive behavior, often acting in a relaxed and disinterested manner regarding many important events. And this nature may have influenced his decision not to participate in the competition for the position of Fleet Admiral in several ways. Kizaru was known for his straightforward approach to combat and acting quickly to deal with threats. His impulsive nature may have even led him to prefer focusing on action and combat rather than engaging in a prolonged competition for that position of Fleet Admiral. Kizaru might not even be the type of person to meticulously plan his rise through the ranks of the Marines. In fact, he might be more likely to act in a moment without a long-term strategy, and this could help him avoid the competition for the Fleet Admiral position, which does require planning and political maneuvering. Also, his casualness and aloof attitude might have even led Kizaru to not take the competition for the position of Fleet Admiral seriously. He might have found the selection process to be tedious or tiring, which didn't align with his personality. As we've seen the Admiral's actions throughout our story, he's been rather known for acting under direct orders and does not appear to seek opportunities to take control or even take the lead. He might have preferred to continue taking orders and fulfilling existing roles rather than seeking promotions. In fact, Kizaru might actually value simplicity in his life and career, where competition for the position of Fleet Admiral could have been seen as complicated or politically charged, and something that he would just rather avoid. But this doesn't mean he isn't a staunch supporter of marine justice, because he's always willing to take drastic measures to maintain order in the world. So he might have considered his current position and mission of fighting pirates, revolutionary, and other threats much more important than seeking that promotion. As we all already know, the world of One Piece is full of high-stakes challenges, and Kizaru's skill makes him invaluable in dangerous missions, so he might have felt that his presence was much more necessary on the battlefield than in a bureaucratic competition or even in an office. As I said earlier, Kizaru might simply not be interested in internal marine politics, such as competitions for leadership positions. His hands-on approach might have led him to consider domestic politics irrelevant compared to what he needed to do in the field. Kizaru also could have seen competing for that position of Fleet Admiral as a selfish quest for power, and he might have considered sacrificing his own ambition for the sake of the mission to be the right choice. So when you think of it that way, Kizaru's focus on his current mission as a dedicated Marine combatant might have been one of the main reasons he chose not to compete for the role of Fleet Admiral during the One Piece timeskip. Rather, his dedication to justice and maintaining order in the world might have just led him to consider his mission to be much more important than any other promotion or high-ranking position. So as you can see, this puzzling decision can be explained by several factors, and these would include his laid-back and disinterested personality, his lack of personal motivation to seek promotions, as well as his relentless focus on his current mission of maintaining peace in the world. Kizaru is a fascinating character who, by opting out of the competition for Fleet Admiral during the timeskip, makes it clear that his priorities are much more different than those of his colleagues. His laid-back personality rather reflects his dedication to the mission of keeping the peace, and his lack of personal ambition for positions of power in the Navy are key factors that explain this choice. And when it comes to Kizaru's sense of justice, he might have simply just believed that his presence on the battlefield was much more valuable than any bureaucratic title or position. But Kizaru still remains a mystery, but his decision reflects his unique approach to life as well as his service in the One Piece Marines. Furthermore, his apparent lack of interest in the internal politics of the Navy, as well as the ideological rivalries between the other admirals, shows that he might value the effectiveness of stability of the organization more than the imposition of a single vision of justice. And of course, Kizaru can also be seen as someone who stays true to the mission of combating the threats to the world of One Piece, and he may have believed that this mission was much more relevant and noble than any rise through the ranks of the Marines. But regardless of the reasons behind his choice, Kizaru remains one of the most captivating and mysterious characters in the series, and fans eagerly await to see how this story will unfold in the future. So with all that said, my friends, we'd now love to know what you think about it. Of all the reasons that we listed, which ones do you agree with on why Kizaru might have not wanted to take the position of Fleet Admiral? And if you disagree with all of our points, why do you think that Kizaru actually didn't want to take the position? Was it just being lazy, or did he find that he had some other allegiances elsewhere? Let us know what you think in the comments below. So as we wrap up our video for the day, we'd like to thank you all so much for watching, especially those of you who've made it here to the very end. Be sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like and hit that subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you all in our next video. Let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.